First of all, it should be remembered that the translation is definitely wrong. But I'll come to it after the translation.
Our honorable brother, he said that I read in one of our magazine Al-Bushra, published in 1973, in which Hazrat Khalifa al-Masih III, he has said that after I thought very, very deeply, Allah has revealed to me that for the next coming 20 or 30 years, our Jamaat will go through very difficult times, and so will go the whole world.
He said he sent wahi on me. Yes. After my contemplation of this.
That's right. Yes. And he has commented, Brother Sharif, that we have seen the persecution through which our Jamaat went through for the last few years, and he would like to know what will happen for...
He used the word Oha Ilahi, that is what he claimed according to the translation.
Revealed, this was, yeah.
Revealed is not enough. Revealed is maybe through intuition, through other things, that God had spoken to him and told him categorically that this is what is going to happen. This is what you should do.
Yes. Okay, I will repeat. That he said that Hazrat Khalifa al-Masih III, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said that after he has thought very deeply, God has spoken to him very clearly, and he said that for the next coming 20 or 30 years, our Jamaat will go through difficult times, and the world as a whole as well will go through similar type of difficult times. Now, our brother Sharif would like to know, he said
that's all or something else would follows.
هل هنالك بقية لهذا
بعد ذلك يتطرق أن وقد أوحى الله سبحانه وتعالى من قبل لسيدنا المسيح الموعود عن كارثة عظمى ستحدث في العالم.
That is what is related to this is why I said please
also
add to this what he is saying.
Also, he has linked that what Hazrat Masih Maud and Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam has published, that God has spoken to him clearly that
Third World War
الحرب العالمية الثالثة التي تكون أشد وأصعب من الحربين السابقتين.
Concerning the Third World War, which will be
الحرب العالمية الأولى والثانية.
It will be more more, yes, that's right. More destructive than the First and Second World War. More destructive.
Oh, that's all right. But what is attributed to him is not just this. He said that it was revealed to him by God through revelation, ilham, or wahi, that by the end of this century, that destructive war, which will destroy most of the dominant nations, would take place. This is what is attributed to him, which he did not say. What he said was that, judging from signs which he read, judging from the ilhamat or wahi on Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, etc., he believes that before the next century begins, the global war which will completely change the complexion of the earth in favor of Islam would take place, and the Western nations will be completely obliterated. But this is a wrong interpretation, wrong translation attributed to him. What he said was, he viewed things to happen like this. He understands that this would happen. I once attended a press conference where one of the prominent journalists who attended this conference where he said this in London, he objected against this statement by saying that this means that the whole world will be destroyed, and within that period. I said, no, this is not what he said. What he said was, he interpreted the prophecies of Masih Maud Islam and the prophecies of before him, that the Third World War, which would be so destructive, would take place by the end of this century. Within 30 years he had prophesied. And that was done in around 70 or something. 67. So 30 years since 67 have already passed. It's 97. Isn't it right?
Yes.
Already passed. And that has not happened. But I made it clear many years ago, many years before this point in time when the 30 years expired, that he never said it. It has been attributed to him by the press. What he said was he thought, he understood from this that this would take place. And then I have myself spoken on this subject on my own behalf and said that what the prophecies, what I understand of the prophecies, the century is not the limit for their fulfillment. And they cannot be. It's impossible. Because according to what I understand from the Quran of the nature of the holy war against other religions, as long as you are winning converts in sufficient number, the people cannot be destroyed. It's impossible. If the Europeans or the Western people belonging to Christianity or other faiths, they respond positively to the call of Islam, as they have started doing so now, with the efforts of the Da'in ilallah of Jamaat Ahmediyya, how can God change His Sunnah, beginning from the time of Hazrat Adam, not to bring His wrath upon a people who are responding and who are converting? Such terrible punishments as are mentioned can only befall such people about whom God has passed the judgment that from now on they are not going to accept. And whatever they will give birth to would be fasikan, fajiran or fujara, as it's mentioned in the Holy Quran. That is the moment in time when God decides to wipe them out, not before that. That is why the Arabs, despite the fact that they left no stone unturned to destroy Islam and Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, were given this long lease of time. They demanded punishment. They categorically challenged Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now make the stones from heaven fall upon us. We demand it. And he said, I can't do it. Allah has to decide. And Allah knew that the entire Mecca was to become Muslim. The entire Arabia was to become Muslim in the lifetime of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that did not happen. No stones were showered on them. So this is what we should look forward to. We should understand the grand plan of things which has been unfolded throughout the religious history. And we must quicken our pace of preaching. That is the only formula to save the world from the ultimate Holocaust which awaits them if they do not respond positively to the call of Islam. Understand? So you understood the message? The rest he will tell you. This unchangeable fundamental principle is laid down by the Holy Quran in response to those who said, "Na'amtir alayna hijaratan min as-sama." وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَأَنْتَ فِيهِمْ. Number one. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ مُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَهُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. See? So these are the eternal preconditions. If they are fulfilled, if the people begin to turn to God and seek forgiveness of Allah, by representation, all of them do not become always immediately Muslims or repentant, but once they begin to turn to God, God would not punish them. So that is why I do not agree with this understanding that by the end of the century, the Third World War would certainly take place. It may or may not. It's not a determined factor. The determining factors would be the attitude of the world as a whole. When God sees that they have finally rejected all efforts of turning them to Islam, that will be the moment when that global holocaust will take place. Now I turn to the Palestinian Ahmadis. Okay. When the non-Ahmadi Muslims asked you to join them in the so-called holy war of fighting the Jewish people with material weapons, you say no, because we do not agree with your interpretation of the holy war in that. And when I tell you to start the real holy war, which is fought with the Quran, and try to convert the Jewish people to Islam, you say the situation is not favorable. So what is your position? La ilaha illallah wa la ilaha illallah. How can you be happy with this? Allah save you from that.
يقول حضرته ندعو أن الله سبحانه وتعالى كي ينقذكم من هذه الأزمة.
Now I understand with the grace of Allah there is an awakening, general awakening in the Ahmadiyya Muslim communities in Kababir and around, and they have started inviting Jewish people, groups, to the Ahmadiyya Center, and started, if not openly, at least through implications, preaching to them. But I want this to be done in a very dedicated spiritual manner, with deep, so that they are deeply convinced of the truth of Islam. All misunderstandings are removed, and they say, yes, this is the faith for us. Once it begins to happen, then inshallah, a new phase of history will begin in the land Al-Ardul Muqaddasa. And that would be the great moment to rejoice by the Ahmadis, inshallah.